Holy shit. Um Hello everybody. Welcome to the hopefully triumphant return of Fraud Complex. It has been an enormously long time since we have sat and spoke, and I hope to do my best to explain why that's happened today, give you guys some sort of clarity as to what's been going on in my life and why there hasn't been any uploads in a couple of months. Uh, First of all, my bad, 1000% my bad. Um, Absolutely could have still been recording and uploading, but it'll make more sense after we go through everything that I want to go through today, why it hasn't happened. Um, Before I start digging into the nitty gritty and the ugly and the nasty and the crazy and the insane, um, and all of the rest of it, I want to acknowledge the good things that are going on in my life. Share some gratitude for the elements of my life that aren't completely fucking my shit up right now. Um, First and foremost, being my beautiful girlfriend, Jessica. I love you so much. Uh, there's there's all this chaos, all of these variables and unknowns, and um, just like confusion and frustration with so many other parts of my life. But for once, my love life isn't hard. We get along very well. We do what we can to, I don't know, just keep the day in and day out easy. Take it easy on each other. And yeah, that's been so valuable because, as I will explain more clearly and will continue to emphasize as much as I am now, uh there's been a lot of shit going wrong, and having an emotional stability point that you can really count on is a big deal. And having that be your romantic partner, obviously the way it's supposed to be, but it fosters a whole other element to the relationship. And yeah, thanks Jessica, I love you. Um and I guess another person that I have to thank is inside of Jessica right now. I am so very excited, um anxious. Obviously there's still a little bit of holy shit, what the fuck is going on right now, about the fact that we're gonna have a kid and I'm gonna be a dad. That's obviously still a very foreign concept to me. But when Jessica first came home and told me, the the ratio of anxiety to excitement was much heavier on the anxiety side as opposed to being excited. I was still excited, um, but that's quite a curveball. Uh, I'm guessing that only men who have heard that would understand what that sort of reaction is. But it's like a what? But then you're like, oh, that's cool. Eventually, and then over time, the man, that's cool. That feeling pretty much takes over. So at this point, I am far less anxious or nervous or anything of the sort, and really just excited. Um, the idea of raising a kid and being like a good example and a role model and a source of insight and knowledge for a young person, specifically one that's like genetically related to me, is obviously something that I've always wanted to do. Th the timeline has just it's been moved up. Not the worst thing in the world. It's something that the timing doesn't really work out the way that most people probably attempt to have it time out. But, um, yeah, I just the 2 most important people in my life right now, I have the incredible privilege of living with. The little one I live with. She's not, like, earthside yet, but she's around. Um, and I have those 2 first and foremost to thank. So, thank you guys. I love you guys. Um, I also very specifically want to show some love to my very close friends. Um, my best friend Kale, who I've mentioned a couple of times, my very good friend Kenny. We are that's a very tight knit group of 3. We've seen a lot and we've been through a lot. And I lean on those guys a lot for um general camaraderie most of the time, just like having someone who's going to be there for you and listen to you complain and do their best to empathize with what you're going through, but also just talk about some of their problems for a little while so maybe you don't have to think about yours so much. Um those are my guys, and we've had some very important, very helpful and positive conversations over the past couple of months that have helped me a lot and helped them a lot. So specifically, thank you guys so much. Um, to every single other person in my life who has reached out to me, who've had more knowledge than you guys do at this point about everything that's been going on. And yeah, I guess anyone who felt the need to reach out or to lend a helping hand in some way, shape, or form, thank you. Um, yeah, that's that is unfortunately. I'm sure there's good parts of my life that I'm not mentioning specifically, but off the top of my head, Jessica's great, baby's great, um, friends are great, but I guess allow me to sort of start us off on the downward spiral that your boy has been on for a little while. I don't promise that this will be in any kind of chronological order because of how much trouble I have had keeping track of things myself. So, I mean, I have probably the best possible recollection of what I've been going through, and it's not great. So, bear with me on that. I will I will do what I can for this to all make sense and try not to babble and ramble about shit for too long and get through this as painless as possible because there's been a lot of pain and a lot of yeah, pain and anger and frustration and exhaustion and whatever. That's enough negative adjectives. I think you get the idea. Um I'll start us off chronologically accurate. This sort of dark cloud that I've been under started um, when I received a very unfortunate phone call from Kale. He called me sort of out of the blue one night and told me that technically his, by all real standards, our cat, Joji, had passed away earlier that night. Um, I'm not, as I will elaborate on more as we dig into all of this, I'm not the most um emotionally available or visibly emotional person. I don't know. Um what I would say is that I have I obviously still feel a lot of things. I have emotions going on in here or up here or wherever the fuck it's going on. But it doesn't it doesn't always like manifest itself visually or physically. I could be like profoundly upset by something, like very upset, but I won't like become overwhelmed with emotion and like break down and bawl my eyes out and scream and freak out about it. Regardless of the severity, like it could, there's some real doozies that I'm gonna talk about, and that will hopefully flesh out this idea. But um, yeah, that sucks. That's never good. It's not the most tragic thing to have ever happened to me, but to find out that um the cat, the 4, maybe 5-year-old cat who was by all measurements your emotional support animal for a significant amount of time when you were down in the real dumps. When you find out that he randomly is just like ripped off the face of the earth for no apparent reason, uh, that is a gut punch. That absolutely sucks. There's a lot, I guess there's not a lot of reasonable understandings of that. That just doesn't make sense to me. Like you can't wrap your head around something like that, especially in the moment. So, yeah, that was a rough night. Um I was obviously a bit more emotional about that than I have been other things, but I'm fortunate about I'm fortunate for the way that that situation sort of came to a close. Um, the next day, potentially the day after, I'm not sure. All of our schedules have been fucking insane. But shortly after, we um, we took Joji to Kale's mom's house and gave him a proper burial with the rest of Kale's family pets. Um, that was an incredibly hard time. That was it was me and Kale and Kenny and Jessica. And by the end of it, it was basically just a circle of tears. And yeah, tears of sadness, obviously, um, tears of anger on my part. I, f- I, f- I can't shake this underlying feeling of just pure anger about just how unfair that is. But like I said, that day didn't end up so bad. Um, Me and the guys were obviously beat up. It was a hard time and a hard day, but um whenever something bad happens or something scary happens or sometimes when you're lucky when like a really bad fight happens with you and your friends, it's an opportunity for you guys to get a lot closer. um there isn't like, it's not incredibly common for me and my friends to be completely open and honest and vulnerable with each other because I don't know, we're grown men with egos and personalities that we want to protect. But in the times that we do, there is a there is an incredibly close, incredibly tight bond that I have not felt with other people. So I obviously am very sad about the objective reality of what happened and how we got to the point that we did. But I greatly value those intimate, uh, quiet when we're not crying. Um, just those quiet moments where you just are upset and then share what's on your mind, what's bothering you, what you're thinking, and everyone is there to hear it and respond to it however they can. But if not, just be there to listen to you. So, um, that's obviously not great. Very, very upset about that. And this is gonna be a really hard one. Um, I wish, I really wish that what I just told you about had any ability to prepare me for what I'm going to tell you about now in as calm and collected of a fashion as I can, but I make you no promises. For anybody who does not know me personally or hasn't spent a lot of time around me in a while, you won't know this. So I will be bringing you in from the very beginning. But anyone who does know me and has been around, I'm sure you have at least a general level of knowledge, but I I have no choice but to um communicate this with the people that care, and um I don't know. I feel an incredibly strong obligation to share this with the outside world, whether you guys give a fuck or not. Um, anyways, for those of you that don't know, my mom has been suffering with some medical issues, specifically a steep decline in her mental state. Um, this started a few years ago. I would say shortly after the pandemic is when my dad felt the need to pull me aside and ask me if I had noticed any sort of weird patterns or strange things going on with my mom. And I unfortunately had to confirm his suspicions. I had noticed it myself. There were some gaps in memory, some gaps in understanding, some very clear red flags. So at that point in time, my mom and my dad went in and talked to some doctors, some medical professionals, some people that are obviously more educated than me, and did some fact finding, tried to put a finger on it, and the results that they got was a diagnosis of Lewy body dementia. Um, this was not something I was specifically familiar with. Um, I'm generally aware of uh, cognitive disease and dementia and all of those things, but um, I've learned more than I thought I ever would, specifically about Lewy body dementia. It is it is a slightly different form of the condition. It as you can probably guess by the name, has a greater effect on the body, on the physiology outside of the brain, and unfortunately, that fact doesn't take away any of the severity of the cognitive issues. So it unfortunately sort of becomes a double-edged sword. There is there is deterioration on both sides. Um again, for anyone that isn't already completely aware and in the know, I have the unfortunate task of telling you that um, on the 21st of May, my mom passed away. Um, I don't, um, I don't and haven't uh, really even said it out loud a lot. Um, the sort of not feeling emotions to their full capacity or to the furthest extent that I can is it's slightly conscious. I've been I obviously don't want to paint the picture of me having an incredibly chaotic and negative childhood, but when the rougher times would rear their heads, I was the type of kid who would just sort of uh shut himself out and I don't know, just go in my room and be quiet and just sort of ride it out and hope everything would be fine when I open my door again. Um Obviously trying my hardest to not respond to things that way anymore, but um it's trial and error. It's win some, you lose some. I don't know. But yeah, it's not something that I have discussed a ton. Um I've been feeling a lot about it and I I have to sort of be patient with myself and wait for the feelings to fully formulate into thoughts and those thoughts to hopefully formulate further into an idea that's more concrete that I can express outwardly. Um, and I'm sure that I will over time. I hope to um, get better at being upset about things. Um, However much of a skill that is, but um, for the time being, I um, I should emphasize that for the most part, I'm doing okay. I am still getting out of bed and going to work and living my life and checking the boxes, living the routine. But it's been a lot harder to do anything besides that. Um, for for reasons that I hope are now clear, and I feel better having um, brought them up and shared them. Uh, Final summation, uh, bullet points to get out of all of that. Um, Obviously, I want to. Um, I want to believe that um, for whatever unknown and it feels like unknowable um, reason that I have lost who I have as of late. Um, I hope it's a good one. I I really hope it's for a good reason because I have a lot of trouble believing that right now. Um, but I hope it was. Okay. Um, those are the heavier topics taken care of, I guess, addressed, gone over, and gone through. Um, obviously, not entirely. Going to be going through both of those things for a long time, but the business has been addressed as far as we are concerned today. So, um, I guess the more surface level, um, real world problems that I've been dealing with, I cannot put into words how much I cannot fucking stand the weather that I along with every other person in Wichita have been subjected to as of late. Um there's lots of stereotypes, there's lots of running jokes, there's a lot of um we are all of the understanding that the weather here is chaotic. It is very fluid. It is ever changing. And it's also at its most extreme points, incredibly extreme. Like very, very extreme. But it's been taken to a whole other level as of late. It's it's blowing my fucking mind. The large majority of the past several weeks, if not several months, not exactly sure how it's distributed, but it's all bullshit. Just trust me. But the large majority of the time, it has been raining, hailing, um, severe thunderstorming, ridiculous wind speed. Uh, basically, it hasn't just been raining. There's been like another variable somewhere. There's another little piece of bullshit somewhere. Even if it just rains, it rains for like the entire day, and my whole street and like the next 3 blocks, the whole street is flooded. Both sides of the fucking street, the curb, like the street is attached to the grass. There's no curb left. You can't see it. It's underwater. And me personally, as someone who last spring purchased a motorcycle and for a little while there wasn't legally capable of riding it, might have still ridden it hypothetically in Fortnite if any cops are listening. uh but had to wait a little while to take a class and get my license, so then I was finally able to go out and enjoy the free world on two wheels. And I got that for like a couple of months, and then it got really, really cold, really, really fast, and I had to put my bike up. Bye bye Triumph. Um, fortunately, if I was feeling very, very brave, I could still ride my motorcycle in the fall and in the winter. I would just have to suffer through inexplicably cold winds and conditions in general. It's really not worth it. Just Google. Actually, don't even Google it. If you're watching, I'll put it here. If you're listening, you'll have to Google it. But if you're watching, I'll put it right here. This is a chart of the speed that you're going versus normal temperature and then the wind chill. It is comical. You will freeze quick. So obviously the majority of the time not able to ride my bike. Um, sit through the entire winter. All of a sudden, The sun is coming out. It's getting warm. It's starting to pick up. We're getting into the motions. Hey, springtime. Rain. Just fucking rain all the time. No break. It's just been fucking raining. I hate it. Um the fact that I ride a motorcycle obviously causes more specific problems than other people out there. You four-wheeled motherfuckers um with the roof over the head and whatever. But I'm still going to sit here and complain about it. It's my show. I was I was specifically targeted by one of the storms that blew through town, and I can explain it. I was I was in a massive hurry coming home early from work because we my phone had was blowing up. I was getting constant notifications about severe thunderstorms and hail and if I'm not mistaken there was also even tornado warnings, or is it a watch? I'm a weather nerd and I can't remember the difference between warning and watch. Don't hold it against me. Just Google it for yourself if you really need to know that bad. But I think we might have even been under tornado watch or warning. So obviously my manager was like, we should probably get the fuck out of here. We should probably go home. This building doesn't have a basement. We should go home. So obviously we went home. I I drove here fast as fuck because I don't have outdoor covered storage of any kind. I do now, but that's a story for a later time. Um at the time, I didn't have anything that was a hard cover material that would sit above my motorcycle and protect it from a torrential hailstorm, which by all measurements was exactly what was about to blow through my exact part of town. Um, the wind was even blowing in a direction that the hail would not be blocked, like by the trees in front of my house or my house itself. It was blowing so it would hit directly into my bike. All that was on top of my bike is like the flappy nylon like rain cover. That's not gonna do shit. My bike is gonna get dinged the fuck up if I don't get home. Fortunately, I did. I get home, and fortunately, Jessica had also gotten sent home early. I don't think they have a basement in their office either. So she came home, and she was fortunately able to help me get my bike over to her mom's house before the shit went down, and she would give me a ride home. We would be set. Obviously, all of this would only work if the timing of the storm followed the track that it was on, which obviously it didn't. It started sprinkling like as I was walking outside, putting my helmet and gloves on. It started coming down lightly, granted, but I was like, "Oh shit, double time now. We gotta fucking go," because it's gonna like it's one of those storms that's just gonna fucking sweep through fast. Like it's gonna sprinkle and then pour and then hail and then pour and then sprinkle and then it'll be over. But I don't want to deal with that short window of hail in the middle. I don't want to deal with that. So um I'm not going to. We're gonna go fast. We're gonna get to your mom's. But unfortunately, that's not how that's not how it went. Um Okay, my bad. Jessica called me. She calls me every single day on her way home. And that does give me a perfect segue of the last thing that I need to talk about. So it's a perfect segue, but we're going to have to pause it for just a second. Bear that in mind. What I was talking about. Um, I was in a mad dash. I got to get my $7,000 investment in a covered garage as soon as possible. Um, I make it shit. A bunch of people don't live where I live, so that's not going to be the best way to explain it. Um, I get probably halfway between where I am and where I'm trying to be, and the hail starts. And it is fortunate I there are worse outcomes in this situation. I have to be somewhat realistic about it, but I still have the right to complain. They weren't like massive hailstones, but they were like significant size. Like it got pretty big pretty fast. And I don't know if you've ever been caught in a hailstorm, but it doesn't feel great if you're just standing still on the ground. Um, but when you add, um, for legal reasons, I'm not going to disclose how many miles per hour of speed to the speed of the hail already falling. It's really fast and they're really small. So when they hit you, it hurts a lot. Um, yeah, I started to get absolutely demolished, uh, all over my back and my arms. I was starting to like not want to like hold on to the handle. Like it was bad because I was going to fall and die. So I had to make the snap decision of making a left turn at the next opportunity that I had to do it. Uh, I got incredibly fortunate that the first house on the block, there was a guy sitting in his truck in the driveway. I realize I do a lot of mental math in the moment and put together a plan. Um, I make the very bold decision of pulling up into the driveway, throwing my bike on the kickstand, in my all black outfit, black helmet, black visor, approaching this man's truck, uh, flipping my visor up as fast as I can, and just like waving to show that I'm unarmed and I'm not here to hurt anybody. Um, I'm like, bro, do you live here? And he's like, yeah. I was like, "Is there any way I could just pull into your garage until this stops? I'm getting absolutely fucking demolished out here." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, no, go, go, go." The zero hesitation, just letting me go in. Bold move on his part. Obviously, fine. I'm not a crazy person, so it worked out well. Um, but yeah, I pull my bike into the garage, pull my helmet and my jacket and my gloves off for a second, and um the combination of being um mad, cold, um in pain, and surrounded by people that you don't know in a house that you've never been in, uh was a very very uncomfortable state. um Very lucky that it didn't last long. um Literally 3 minutes pass by and the hail stops and the rain, for the most part, stops. So, I see my window of opportunity. I realize I've got to go. So I throw all my gear back on, jump on my bike, and right as I'm about to pull out of the garage, I just like do like a 180 to make sure I'm completely clear. And as I turn my head, there's someone standing behind me. Scares the shit out of me. Oh, whoa, hello. what the fuck can I do for you? He's like, are you about to leave? Like, oh shit, is he mad? So I was like, yes. He's like, you might want to stay. It's bad out there. I was like, um, it's about to get worse. Like this quiet moment right here is a sign that like it could get very, very bad in the near future. So I'm gone, dude. I'm sorry. I don't know you. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but I'm gone. Thank you for letting me hang for in what I would assume is your garage. Not sure the tenant situation of that house. It doesn't matter. Uh, appreciate the reprieve that I got in your garage. I'm gone. Um, yeah, I rode the west of the way, the west of the. I rode the rest of the way to Tina's house. Uh, just airing out. It wasn't fucking raining at all, so I was jacket open, visor cracked, and like glove Velcro unstrapped, just trying to like draw myself out as quick as I could and fighting the shame that I was feeling as much as I could. Um so yeah, I in a desperate attempt to avoid having my bike deal with any of the hail in that storm, I managed to ride my bike almost exclusively in the window of that storm when it was hailing and no other time. That's that's sort of been my luck as of late. So, um unfortunately I can't say that I'm surprised by the outcome, but I'm definitely still upset about it. Okay. It serves as a perfect segue. It's delayed, but it's still a perfect segue. Jessica just came home. And this is the first time that I've recorded. This is so weird because I know she's in the other room and I know that she like even if she's not consciously listening on some level she can hear what I'm saying. And that idea combined with a general like very strong um disdain for being perceived has been one of the large reasons that there hasn't been any episodes in a while. Um it's not something that's going to go away anytime soon. It is a very very deep rooted thing that obviously I need to work on and try to eliminate as much as possible, but I feel the need to be like clear and open and honest about that because this is something that I want to do really really bad. Um I don't have a long laundry list of like real world capabilities. So I have to figure out some way to make a living off of having what is, as far as I'm concerned, solid opinions and great taste. Um, because like that's what I'm good at. That's what I do. Like I know what I think is cool and what I think isn't. I know what I think is right and what I think isn't. And I feel like in day-to-day conversations, in my interactions with normal, not I'm not saying you guys aren't normal people, but like you know what I'm saying, like when I'm just chatting with people in real life, not into a camera lens, um I've always been a very quick-witted, funny, insightful person. And it's always been on the short list of things that I know that I'm good at. So, like, the fact that I would at the same time have such a massive struggle with like a very core part of this career is super annoying more than anything. Very annoying, but um is unfortunately at times completely debilitating. Like there have been times when I have tried and I cannot do it. If Jessica has been in the house, I can't like sit here and talk the same way that like I want to. You know, like it feels like there's a filter between it. There's not. She's not gonna like talk shit about me. Technically, I guess she could sit in there and like talk shit to Mally and Gigi, and they could have their own little uh hate club about me. But I don't think that that's happening. Like she loves me. That's not what's gonna happen. That's such a it's such an irrational and it's an illogical conclusion to come to. Like that's not what's going to happen. So the fact that I keep thinking that's what's gonna happen makes no sense to the other half of my brain. If that makes sense to either half of your brain. Um yeah, that's probably like the key component, the largest factor as to what has literally kept me from walking over there and turning the camera on and starting recording here and doing this. But as I hope I have made clear to you, there has been a pretty long list of other things as well. I am going to I'm going to work my way through it at the exact pace that I'm supposed to. And I will hope that that process is a constructive one and a positive one. And I will talk to you soon. I love you. Bye.
Who am I? I don't